what you're doing. And so, but at the same time, you fall back on what you are and what you believe in, and you don't alter from that. And so to me, that's been a lot of self-reflection in that regard, and a lot of communication, like you said. I mean, talking to other coaches and really talking about like the holistic calendar that we're under, and how can we better manage that for our guys to be able to think about not just one part of the year, but the whole calendar of the year and how we approach spring football. We made changes in that. I think we'll make some further changes. I think moving forward, even as a probably college football approach it, how we handle fall camp, making some changes there, trying to be able to help our guys, be able to stay healthy through a long season, which is always a challenge. But we obviously seem to have more than normal this past year. But at the same time, we made a lot of changes. We had 20 new players come in January, 10 from high school, 10 from college, and that's a lot of different guys. And then we have some more new guys that will be coming here in June. And so we got 5 new coaches. That's a lot of new coaches. So we've had a lot of change this offseason. And so with that change, that excites me for new ideas, new things, new ways of doing things, and opportunities for us to get better. So for me, it's really about evaluating what we were doing, making changes from that evaluation, and then pressing on.
Hey, Coach, what is the summer? What position group do you feel is the strongest? What position group do you feel has the most to go heading into the summer?
If I just had to pick one, strength of our team, I would say secondary. Just the number of guys coming back. I know some of those guys got injured a year ago, but those guys will all be back 100% healthy. And just look at the talent back there in the secondary, the experience in the secondary. Definitely one of our strengths. I think, big emphasis has been placed on the offensive line. I mean, they got to continue to get better. We know that. But I've really been encouraged by Matt Bedford's leadership growth and physical growth, and same with Luke Haggard and Zach Carpenter. 3 guys have stuck out to me this offseason that needed to. The challenge has been put out to them, and they've responded. But the receiver room is just really, new. A lot of new faces, a lot of new guys that names you may not have heard of in the past, and guys that came in January. Obviously, getting DJ back is going to be huge. But there's several guys at that position to me that I'm excited about, but need to have a great summer. Need to keep developing, need to keep working, and just anxious to see. I'm just excited to get this team back together, and really excited about fall camp.
I guess you talk about the possibility of the Big Ten eliminating divisions. I imagine you've at least thought about it some in your mind. What's the most sensible approach to scheduling if that happens?
I think we've had just very, a lot of conversations about it. Scott Dulce and I have talked about it quite a bit. I think the most sensible thing to do with the size of our conference is to maybe have a couple that you play all the time, to kind of be able to uphold the rivalries. And that's a big deal for our conference. There's a lot of really strong rivalries that you want to see continue. And then to be able to just have a rotating schedule to where, if a young man comes to play for Indiana, in the course of his career, he will be able to go to every single stadium and play at all those places. There's places that we still haven't played at, since I've been here. So I just think that the bottom line is that you just still have an equitable schedule that they can, and they've given some samples out to us, and for us to be able to see what that would look like, and to our administration. So bottom line is that it's very, very feasible. But I do think that it seems to be going the direction of, maybe a couple that you would have constantly that you play, no matter what division there would have been in the past, and you play those 2 teams, and then the rest of them are rotated on an equitable basis.
Do you see that? I guess. Sorry, one follow. Do you see it staying at 9?
I think so. Yeah, that part I think, and I see some maybe other. I just like to see us all be the same. I don't control any of that, but I think that would make the most sense, big picture wise. But I don't see us going from 9.
Joe Smith is retiring. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on just what he's meant to kind of in the NFL?
Oh, what? I've known him all the way back to even high school. When I was at Ben Davis, we'd come up here and play Bloomington South, and so just appreciate everything he's done. Excited about I just texted him today, congratulating him on everything, and the one final season with the Hoosiers. So just appreciate all he's given to our great sport, all the sports in Bloomington and in Indiana, and just another example of a great man that's given a lot of his life to this program.
The other recommendation also was the scholarship. We talked about that from 25 to 32. How does that impact a school like yours also?
Yeah, I think that when the decision to remove the cap, that was a big deal, because what was happening was, with obviously the transfer portal, sometimes you were losing more than the guys that you could bring back in. So I think it definitely is a a common sense adjustment to the transfer portal. We kind of see what I think we're in the midst of some serious changes. In the several years, I think for our sport and college sports in general, but especially football. So, but I think that was a positive thing, to be able to kind of relieve some of that pressure of being able to replace the young men that might choose to go somewhere else. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of things that are happening right now that are pretty significant.
How much time are you spending on transfer portal, roster management, also this kind of new NIL, all this new stuff?
A lot. It's taken a lot of our focus. It needs to. The roster management piece is intense. It's I would say it's daily conversation about it. Still bringing guys in this weekend. That would be potentially with us here in the fall. So that's just not what it's been in the past. But I think that all of those things. When you talk about transfer portal, the roster manager that's created, what happened with COVID, and what that's created with the extra years, that's definitely a variable. It's affecting everything. And then you got NIL, which is a whole other issue that we were dealing with, and a very positive thing for sure, but definitely, challenges without question. So just trying in our conversations, how can we best take full advantage of it, maximize it at Indiana. And so, yeah, it's definitely, these are all, like I said, there's a lot of significant things that have happened in the last, year that are going to create a lot of change for the future, and I think more change is coming.
When you talk about bringing guys in for this weekend, what are you looking for? What do you want? How much space do you have?
Yeah, we got a few more spots left, not very many. So right now it's very, very selective. I'd say just trying to find a guy that you say, hey, can this guy help us win games in 2022? And you never ever get away from, does he fit with our program's culture? That's priority number one. And that's, I feel good about the guys that we've already brought in mid-year and the guys that will be joining us here in June. But these last few spots we have, you're just really trying to make your team deeper and better, and add more speed, add more guys that can help us, rush the passer. I would say that's an emphasis for sure. And then you're always, I don't think you can ever go wrong with hey, can a guy be a, dynamic player on offense, And then if you find an offensive lineman that you can bring in to help you, So those would be, if I had to pick three areas, that would be the three things I'd be focusing on.
So you look for, so with that positions, you basically look for edge rusher, offensive lineman, and offensive skill guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Transfer portal,
Well, we do, and it's our head guy. Lee Wilbanks. That guy, he's on that thing nonstop. But we are in the process of wanting to grow, into that. The NFL they have a division of pro scouting, a division of college scouting, and I think that's what we are turning into. We're going to have a division of college scouting and a division of high school scouting, and so we're going to mirror that look. We haven't got to that structure yet. I want us to go that direction, yes. But right now we had to take the guys we got and maximize it. And so, but Lee would be, he's my portal guy.
How is your new quarterback adjusting to Indiana?
Yeah, I tell you what, so Connor's come in here in January, which that's always a huge thing to get guys in here at that time of the year, to be able to be with us all the spring, the 8 weeks of workouts prior to spring football, then obviously spring football, and then now you obviously go into spring with understanding what it's all about here, what it's like to be a student here, and then you got your relationship with your teammates, and then now you can build off of that schematically during the summertime. So I think he's really done a great job. Excited for him to compete for that spot, with the other guys in that room, and it's highly competitive, and that's what I want, and that's what makes us all better, and I'm excited about that room. A year ago at this time, we had one guy on scholarship that was healthy in the quarterback room at the end of spring football. So completely different this year, which is a huge thing. We got to keep those guys healthy, obviously, but their development is huge. The quarterback play a year ago wasn't near to our standard of what we need to be able to be successful in our conference, and so that's a big deal for us. Awesome, appreciate it. Yeah, Leo.